Keep joining me. Remember, you need to share this broadcast after reading the caption of the broadcast and then the description as well. Okay, please share it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that Mayegu is back. Just last night, I sort of hinted on the plots to downgrade the Sultan of Sokoto. We have now discovered that the plot is not just to downgrade him. It is also to dethrone him. That's new. What did he do? I don't know. Sokoto state government has denied any plots of dethroning Sultan Sadi Abubakar, the Sultan of Sokoto. They said, no, we are just trying to amend the law and trying to make it better for the traditional council of Sokoto State. A shitty man speaking directly to the deputy governor of Sokoto State. Don't do it. That then makes it more interesting. It's actually plots. If you remove the Sultan of Sokoto, it's going to trigger nationwide crisis. No be me talk about. Rick, no Rick. That's why if anybody is denying it, none of us is this. So good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you, brethren in the temple of truth. Welcome back. Take your seat. Yeah. Make sure you have actually shared this broadcast, okay? Share them on every platform you probably have access to. WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere you can. Get the message. Like, it's going to be like the seed, just spread it. Like it, because that is the tonic for the message as well to also go far as you are joining. Just like the broadcast and then relax. It is no longer rumor, okay, that the political class across Nigeria, it seems they've had enough of what they considered as sharing their power. I didn't know that the Sultan of Sokoto was that powerful. I know among Muslims in Nigeria, okay, Sultan of Sokoto being their pope. All right. If you are a Muslim in Nigeria, it doesn't matter whether you like their type of Islam in northern Nigeria or not. It doesn't matter. As long as you are in Nigeria, your pope is the Sultan. Not just that. He is also considered as a supreme traditional ruler for Fulanis and also the custodian of their age-long idea or ideal of the oligarchy that they built in northern Nigeria. So the symbol of that oligarchy, the symbol of that feudalism, still resides or resonates around whoever is the Sultan of Sokoto. I didn't know that. They said the APC, Egbekegbe's government of Sokoto, have now come together to want to whittle down such influence. It is like sharing your power, sharing the power of the governor, who is expected to be the ones that can do and undo. So put it this way, right? The settings of the caliphate, the Sokoto caliphate, is like a government of its own. Okay. In fact, everything else that they probably lost during the time of colonialism, there's something that was never lost. It was the idea of the caliphate. It's alive. In fact, they believe that everything that exists politically in northern Nigeria today, religiously, everything emanated from the sustainability, the survival of the emirate, the sultanate, the emirate. So it's an institution. It's beyond just a sultan or no. Political class shouldn't touch it, but they will touch it. And that is now bringing about different sort of a fire brand from everywhere. Don't do it. We will do it. No, don't do it. So in the last Eid in Sokoto, where their governor, his name is Amadu Aliyu, by the way. And when I heard Amadu, I felt like Amadu Bello. Amadu Bello was supposed to be a sultan of Sokoto, but because the colonial masters at the time, they sort of had the other plan for him, and they didn't want him to be a sultan. So he was made Sadauno. Meanwhile, he's only the sultan of Sokoto that bears Sadauno, though, right? So they just made him a Sadauno, created that for him, and then sultan of Sokoto on the other hand, and on. That's how they coexisted. But majority of those elite of the era of that time, they kind of saw the power that the Sadauno of Sokoto, it wasn't a sultan, it was supposed to be, right? The power he wielded. And it was all believed to be from that same emirati. So why is the royal institutions, the Fulani royal institutions in northern Nigeria, why are they coming under the attacks of the supposedly the Fulani political class? So it has triggered a lot of conversation now. And if these guys are throwing all these banters among themselves, I think you should be able to piece together some of the pieces of information that you're going to, they are droplets, put them together, you get your answer. Dethrone the Sultan of Sokoto. What's going to happen if that should happen? Wala Mashele. That of the Kano is still, now, that of Kano Emirate. Who is Emir of Kano? Sanusi, no, Nabayero. As we speak, the police, Nigeria police, have taken over the palace of the Sanusi's palace. The government of Sokoto, government of Kano, they are plotting to go and demolish the makeshift palace where Bayero is staying. Court says Bayero is the emir. The government says Sanusi is the emir. Now that one is there. So they are telling them, don't add Sokoto. So during the last Ileya, okay, people believe that the governor somehow disrespected the emir. He also denied it, okay? But I think I have a clip of that, somewhere. So I'll look for it and I'll probably share that with you, okay? But Shitty Man was in Casino. See, today they were hosting what they called the Northern Nigeria Security Summit. They were discussing about the insecurity in Northern Nigeria. The Sultan was there too, by the way. Then the shitty man just turned to the deputy governor. Listen, guy, we've heard what you guys are trying to do. You can't touch that institution of a sultan. It is the symbol of everything that a lot of us represent. If you do what they did in Kano to Sokoto, that simply means that we are decimating ourselves. I'll let you listen to him. So let's start from that. Shitty man's message to Sokoto people and to the rest of northern Nigeria based on their insecurity. The Sultan also was there, where he told everybody, if all of you, the political class, the elite, and the government, if we don't do something now, you see this issue of a banditry, it will last in Nigeria for decades. godfathers of terrorism, Islamic terrorism, another agenda in Nigeria just told you that this will last for decades, except they change their way, right? But we'll get to that part. Let's first see Shitty Man arrive in Casino for this, as well as what he told the deputy governor and others. Listen.
Ba zai zama bus din za a yi fakin nasu waje.
Mental issues in this country. His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto. I want to use him as my point of reference to recognize and appreciate all our royal fathers present here. And to the Deputy Governor of Sokoto, I have a simple message for you. Yes, the Sultan is the Sultan of Sokoto, but he is much more than that. He represents an idea. He's an institution that all of us in this country need to jealously guard, protect, promote, preserve, and project for the good of our nation.
Nuisance, Lele.
That's Shitty Man. And that is the cryptic message based on these things going on the ground. I told you the alarm will soon blow. But now don't they see the smoke, Abi? Listen to the other part of what he had to say. Please don't ask me to interpret, okay? But here, Shitty Man.
In the Northwest, it's not a sectional agenda. We promise to make Nigeria safer. And this aim has been our topmost priority since we came to office over a year ago. We realize that achieving the peace we seek necessitates addressing the historical injustices that have torn communities apart. We must also reverse the institutional priorities governing security and the economic dysfunction that create vulnerabilities to crime. We must also counter the ideological mischief that has pervaded the discourse of peace and security in the region. Your Excellencies, your Royal Fathers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the solution we seek is a region where every trait is safe, where every group is at peace, and where the policing and military presence of the state is optimal. This disintegration from cycles of clashes between primaries and herders has ruptured the ideas of oneness upon which the North revolved. This was followed by a regime of cattle rustling that set herders on a path of violence. Over the past decades, we have seen how these land use disputes drove the farmer-herder complex as climate change diminished our arable land and water resources, as the capacity of our security forces was overwhelmed, as unauthorized arms proliferated conflict zones, as corruption undermined our quest for solutions, and as criminal and insurgent elements exploited the complexity of our crisis to cross into our borders. What we are witnessing across the North is an explosion of these damaged relationships, and we have come to say, enough is enough. In the North.
Nuisance, Lele.
Did you see Bokuwari on the stage? Yeah, that's the same field Bokuwari on the stage. They were discussing the Northwest insecurity 2 days ago. Over 50 people were slaughtered in Katsina State, and an unknown number of them were also kidnapped. It is just like a common thing over there. So me at the way to the Sokoto state government said, no, we have no plan of removing the Sultan. No. We don't know where people are getting all of this from. Oh. What we are doing is that we are amending the laws. Okay? the laws of traditional institutions. Sorry, rather, traditional institution of Sokoto state. That's all we are doing. All these things that everybody is reading different meaning. No. I say, I am Murasi. Shitty man and others telling them that, no touch na ideal, all this idea of Islam, all this idea of jihad. He is our spiritual leader. Let's put it that way. Sultan of Sokoto is the Islamic, the Muslim says spiritual leaders. Spiritual leader in Nigeria. So it's simple as that. It's more than just a tradition. So for Shittiman to sort of say, I am sending this message through you, the deputy governor, that simply means that that denier, I don't believe it. They said he disrespected the Sultan at the last Eid. Let me show you what that clip was. I don't know. You can tell me if, let's say, if the governor chooses not to stand up and greet the Sultan during the last Ileya. He never stood up to greet him. So some now kind of feel like there is something they cook. And you don't say me, I tell you, say something is cooking. The only thing you ask me to bring is the smoke. Why you going to show us the smoke? I don't show you the smoke now. Let's now see how much they can patch and cover the smoke, and it won't turn to fire. But we'll go here. Abi, we will be here. Because if you know that for those who are in Kano right now, different groups are issuing different statements, okay, on who is Emir of Kano. An Emir of Kano, or the Kano Emirates, which is a branch of the Fulani Emirates, right? It's also meant to be symbolic. Now, you don't turn to yam pepper scatter. There are those who have nothing to do with Emirates. They are now the defender of the Emirate. Very soon, you're going to be seeing those who have nothing to do with the Sultanate. They will begin to have different groups, for and against. No be Nigeria. These are those ones from Kano.
Even though it was not the purpose for which he occupied office, he is welcome to continue with the imaginary war he is waging on his perceived enemies. But this particular battle on the Emirate issue is one he must acknowledge is a lost battle. As a governor, executive governor of a state, his primary mandate is to ensure security of the state, peace and security. But when you see a governor throwing caution to the wind so as to achieve a narrow end, that portends danger for democracy, not only in Kano State, but for Nigeria. Just like I have said earlier, Kano is a mini Nigeria. We consequently call on the Kano State government not to waste the taxpayers' resources on frivolous appeals, but to continue to work with the Emir Ado Bayero as the duly recognized Emir of Kano Emirate Council, with his full official paraphernalia of office in the interest of peace and in accordance with the order of the court. We make this call knowing that all other pending legal challenges on the matter would naturally align with the Federal High Court ruling. Rule of law is better than rule of men. If we subject ourselves to rule of men, then it's an invitation to anarchy. And when the anarchy ensues, we may all be consumed. Even the so-called the protected high may not be immune when it happens. God forbid, we'll see the other way of it. Our coalition further demands that all parties should commit to peace, even as we ask that Governor Yusuf apologize to all the concerned for the mental torture, anguish, harm, degrading treatment that the Emir Alhaji Ado Bayero has been subjected to in the last few weeks since the state governor started this macabre dance. It's a shameful dance. It's a dance without any melody of music. A dance that is lacking to a mad person on the street that is running amok with a dangerous dagger on his hand. This is what is happening in Kano. And it's high time goodwill Nigerians should rise to the occasion and condemn what is apparently condemnable. Keeping quiet in the face of what is happening in Kano amounts to a national conspiracy that its consequences may consume all of us. will appeal to the Nigeria Bar Association to review the actions of the Kano State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Barrister Haruna Issa Tenderi, who constituted himself into a court of appeal by engaging in the unlawful interpretation and review of the ruling of the Federal High Court instead of guiding his employer, which is the Kano State government, on the proper implementation of the verdict as an Attorney General of the state. Part of his duty is to act as the chief law officer of the state. And being the chief law officer of the state, he is duty bound to give sound opinion and also a professional advice on issues of law to his employer, the Kano State government, irrespective of whether such opinions are even palatable, irrespective of whether those opinions are even convenient. It doesn't matter. Law is law. It favors you today, it may not favor you tomorrow. If it doesn't favor you today, it may favor you tomorrow, and that is the law. He should know. But for him now to have desecrated the holy temple of justice by making a far-reaching comments as if the AG has now become a court of appeal. By this, it is clear that the Attorney General of Kano State is advising the Kano State government to toe the path of anarchy. Whatever happens in Kano State as a result of the ongoing self-imposed crisis, the first person to be held responsible in our own opinion should be the Attorney General, because he has shown that he has failed in his duty to give his professional advice. And we have a professional body as lawyers, the MBA. Our actions and all our inactions are regulated. His actions amounted to infamous conduct. That which he has done by his is in the media, is in the public media, where he has misled in totality the public and the Kano State government, contrary to what is the clear ruling of the Federal High Court sitting in Kano yesterday. We are inviting.
It is smoky Igbo. It is take India. It is smoky Igbo. It is take India.
What you concern now with Kano Emirates? He is not from Kano. Okay? He's not from northern Nigeria. He said he is a lawyer, activist for national interest. See? And very soon I go to see that of Sokoto. For the sake of national interest and all of that. We report Nigeria gone yo. Or you know the ways that are actually like the problematic ways in Nigeria. Some of them they wear suit and agbada. Here is the emir warning all of us. Please, this one is a long watch, okay? Listen, right? He's warning everybody about the long stay of the terrorism in Nigeria and why. Some long windpipe speech, okay? But you may never probably see him speak as Sultan of Sokoto in the coming weeks or months. So this could be good and you should watch it. Adobayero and the rest of them right now, I mean, they had their shot too, right? Then the political class happened. I want this on record. Let's watch that.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على النبي الكريم. Your Excellency, the Vice President, sitting in for Mr. President, Your Excellency, the host governors of Northwest, let me recognize the chairman and the host governor, Governor of Katsina. Distinguished participants, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First, I would like to start by offering our condolences on behalf of the entire Muslim Ummah in the country to the Vice President for the loss of his mother-in-law,